Shalom. First of all, praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, Bashem Rukarkadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, the women, the children, the confusion of faith who follow. So I wanted to do this lesson in particular on this word, toe, which is found in the 31st verse, first chapter of Isaiah. Now, it's very important that we go into these words and have a complete understanding of these words in order to get the sense of the verse and essentially to get the sense of the surrounding information within the rest of the chapter. So, Lord's will, this is an edifying lesson to the elect. And we're going to actually start this off at Isaiah 1 and 27. So it says, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment, and her converts with righteousness. Now we know that the Most High has his elect, and he's going to come back and get his people. Quick precept, real quick. We're going to get Isaiah 43 and 14. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake I have sent to Babylon, and have brought down all their nobles and the Chaldeans whose cry is in the ships." Okay, so it says that the Lord, our Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, he said, for our sake, he is sent to Babylon. Okay, that's Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yahushai is going to be that Redeemer that comes back and get us, but everything is through the power and the strength of the Holy Father. Okay, so it said that he sent to Babylon to bring down the nobles, to bring down this country, and to basically redeem us and to give us salvation. All right, it says, and the destruction of the transgressors and of the sinners shall be together, and they that forsake the Lord, Yahbashim Yahshai, shall be consumed. All right, so that's pretty plain. Verse 27 is talking about the 1/3. Verse 28 is talking about the 2/3. The transgressors and the sinners, they're going to be together and shall be consumed. Consumed with what? Okay, they're going to be consumed with that thermonuclear destruction, which is going to be, taking place here in the Third World War, and in that time, it's going to be what the elect are going to be redeemed from. They're going to be saved from the coming destruction of the thermonuclear missiles. It says, "For they shall be ashamed of the oaks which ye have desired, and ye shall be confounded for the gardens that ye have chosen." All right, when it speaks about the oaks, and when it speaks about these gardens, it's akin to the groves, okay? Because I believe, let's get this real quick. This is Isaiah 30. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." Because a grove covers. That's why it's explained as a covering. So that's one and the same. So when you have a oak, or you have a garden, it's speaking about um, these other philosophies, these other religions that people have chosen. It says, "For ye shall be as an oak whose leaf fadeth, and as a garden that hath no water." Well, what happens when a tree has no leaves? It's dead in the winter. In the winter, when all the leaves fall off the tree, it's dead. Or you have a garden and you don't water your garden, what's going to happen? It's going to die. All right. So all um, the sinners, the transgressors, the ones who have taken counsel but not of me, saith the Lord, they're all going to die. It's simple. Verse 31, and this is the point where we want to get to in this lesson. It says, "And the strong shall be as tow, and the maker of it as a spark, and they shall both burn together, and none shall quench him." Now, before we get this word tow, what does it mean by "and the strong"? So let's get that real quick. And when you go into it, it just says strong. So we're going to go to the root word, which is Hassan. Okay. It says to be treasured up, to be hoarded, to be laid up, to be stored. So an abundance is something. It's going to be stored up. It's going to be hoarded. A lot of it. To compact by implication, to hoard up, to lay up. Okay, and then what are we hoarding up? We're hoarding up the toe. So, it's like yeah. It says, and the strong should be as toe. So let's get this word toe, which is narath. Narath. It says a strand of flax or a toe as shaken from flax when beaten. Now, okay, that's one thing to know. There's a strand of flax, but that doesn't really, you know, get your mind going. We're not, pulling flax. We're not planting, or we're not farmers for the most part in these times. So how can we make this a little bit more visual for us so we understand exactly what it's talking about? Well, let's go. Let's go to Google. What is flax toe? This is flax toe. Okay, and going back to the verse, it says, "And the strong shall be as toe, and they shall make it as a spark, and they shall both burn together, and none shall quench them." Now, this is how you make a fire. Okay, you got your basic. This is going to be the basics of the fire. Those three sticks, and then you have, that's not tow, but that's basically um, pitch, or the fibrous parts of a tree. Those are easily lit. All you have to do is get your little striker and strike it, and one spark, and that thing will go up. And then you can start putting, as you can see, he has his little sticks over here. You start putting your little sticks on top of that fire. The fire is going to start building and consuming, and then that's when you can start laying heavier sticks upon it, to actually start kindling your fire. So let's get an example of how we can get this tow. All right, we're gonna pull this from YouTube. If my mouse will move with me. Here we go.
Industry here on the estate. George Washington grew flax as a hedgerow, a living fence on his fields that could protect his crops from wind. Flax was harvested in early summer when it was pulled from the ground by the root. Fibers of the flax plant grew along the entire length of the plant, from root to tip. When the plants had dried, they were run through a ripple, a comb made of dull iron nails to remove the seed pods. George Washington would save the seeds from the pods for next year's crop and for the making of linseed oil. After the flax was rippled, it was retted. Retting rotted the stalk of the flax plant slightly so that it would become brittle and would shatter to release the fibers. Once the retted flax had dried again, it was crushed in a flax break. The flax break shattered the brittle woody stalk on the inside of the plant and released the hair-like fibers that ran up and down the outside of the stalk. Flax was then placed on a scutching board, where it was scraped with a blunt wooden scutching knife to soften the plant fibers and remove any bits of stalk that might still cling to the fine hair-like fibers of the plant. This time-consuming process had significant impact on the quality of the finished thread and ultimately the fabric. Flax was next brushed out by running it through hackle combs made of sharp iron nails. Hackles detangled the delicate flax fibers and separated out any fibers that were too short to make quality fabric. These short, coarse fibers, called tow, could be recombed to make burlap and tow sack. Tangled tow could be used to stuff pillows, light fires, or scrub.
There we go. So that is the toe. You can use the toe for many things, like you said, to put in your pillows or to light fires. So this, coming back full circle. Um, and the strong should be as toe, should be as, you know, This is a very good example. This is the toad. This is what the strong should be as, and we know the strong is talking about abundance. So a lot of this, and what's going to happen when you have a lot of that and you light a fire? It's just going to go up. So speaking of the wicked, speaking not really the wicked, the wicked of Israel, shall I say, the transgressors and the sinners, and the ones who cover with the covering, but not of the Lord's Spirit. They're going to be like an abundance of this fibrous material. That's what the scripture is saying. And they both shall burn together, and none shall quench them. All right, so none can put them out. Why? Because that thermonuclear destruction is coming. All right, the Bible speaks of it. The prophets are speaking it, and it's definitely going to happen. That's what we hasten the day for. Because why? Because then we will be redeemed. The righteous will be redeemed. So, with that being said, I hope that you were edified, that this was a fruitful and a profitable lesson. So, with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yashai Bashem Kadash, that honors to the apostles and elders of the GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are learning truth and sincerity, the women, the children, and the confusion of faith who follow. Shalom.